A well-established herbaceous border like this really is the crowning glory of any garden, and the buyers might be a bit concerned if you leapt in here and dug it all up and took it away. But the brilliant thing about herbaceous perennials is that many of them can be lifted, divided, and then a portion planted back into the ground so that you can take some with you when you move. So you could be selective. Some of these are cheap plants that really are easily replaceable, but your special favourites you could lift, split, put a bit back in the ground and take some with you. So there's plenty to choose from here. Some perennials you can just lift and they'll come up with a really good strong root ball. Things like this hellebore, for example. You look at this has just been lifted straight out of the ground, and it's a dense solid root ball, really hard, and just simply put that in a plastic bag. You could tie around here with some string if you wanted to, but that's ready to move, and it's simpler rather than taking too much time and fuss over potting it up. So that can move exactly like it is. Some plants you'll lift, like this pulmonaria, and not only will it wilt very quickly, but it'll also disintegrate. A lot of the fibrous rooted plants will just fall apart into divisions, and that's great because you can plant some of it straight back in the garden for the new people that are going to take on the garden, but also you can take lots of it with you and you've got it already divided up, ready to plant out in big bold groups. Helps to fill your garden up quicker the other end. But the best thing to do with things like pulmonaria is they don't really need that wilted foliage, and once it's wilted it will actually be taking energy from the plant, so you can simply cut that foliage off. As long as you've got a nice bit of root system, you've got all the new shoots that will come from low down. So just tidy these pieces up and pop them straight into a pot, but don't fill the pot with compost and waste compost. Just fill the bottom part of the pot with some compost, pop the roots into the bottom like that, and then fill in around the roots. And all of these divisions here can be just simply tidied up, the tops cut off, popped in that pot, and you can take them loose in the compost like that. Easy to then plant out when you get the other end. So that's the pulmonaria. And then the other sorts of perennials are things like this lamium. This will actually divide up into a number of different pieces, but it's not worth doing that until we get the other end. Try and keep the root ball as intact as possible. If it does start to disintegrate, then you can pot it up. But what I like to do with things like this, which I'm going to divide at a later date, is to wrap them in cardboard to try and protect that vulnerable base of the stem there. So you just put it on a piece of cardboard, fold the sides up and make a little package. You don't need to be too creative with this. Just simply use some gaffer tape and some cardboard packaging and make a little parcel that'll protect the plant. Keep it in one whole piece until you get the other end and you can divide it. And it's not just indoors that you need all that packaging material really for your move. It's always good to have a good supply of bubble wrap and cardboard, string and gaffer tape to wrap all your plants up. Pretend it's Christmas again.